Tanya here. I'm going to take you through a yoga session it's a progress from our last session of working with triangle pose, but we're going to still add in a little bit more challenging the body in different ways. So we're working side body line when we work triangles. We're going to start to bring in a few twists in the body within this session. So we're getting your spine moving, we're getting the hips moving in multiple ways. So you will have options on the way through. This is a Vinyasa practice, so it will keep you moving through the likes of your chaturanga. So that's working a little bit stronger through positions, but you always have the option to go to child's pose, and know that if something feels too strong, take a chill pill, take your time out and just enjoy. Feel what's good. If it doesn't, again, find child's pose. So I'm hoping you can find the challenge in this and find the level that suits you. Know that this is definitely a little bit more of a demanding practice in terms of Vinyasa flow, but I hope you enjoy it and have fun on the way through. Be good to yourself, work hard, and hopefully as a result you're going to feel better. So let's get to it. And yeah, don't forget, give us a like on this video if you do enjoy the session, and certainly leave us a comment and subscribe to the channel for more videos. So without further ado, get yourself into position. We're going to bring you into seated. So finding that comfortable length through your back. And as you're lying there, I want you to allow the legs to lengthen out long and straight. So reaching through the toes, bringing the arms up overhead. So bringing in that full body stretch. So as you reach the arms out, point through the balls of the feet, let the rib cage lift, and then maybe reaching through the heels just to bring a little bit of length through the back line of the legs. Reaching up with the right arm and the right foot, so lengthening that alternating stretch, and then through onto the left side, again reaching and lengthening. And then slowly one more on each side, finding length, whether you want to point through the toes, whether you want to reach through the heels, so you can play with that. And again, last one on that left side. And as you bring it back into center, float the arms down. If you choose to lie for this relaxation session at the start, just to get you tuned in with it, if you want bent knees, you can have them, okay? So slowly from there, let the eyes close, let the arms roll out a little bit to the sides with the palms facing upwards. And I want you to think about making as many connections to the floor as you can with your body, so that grounding through the back of the neck, through the back of the shoulders, through the arms and the back of the hands. Grounding through the rib cage, the hips, the legs, and through the heels. And let the body sink and melt into the floor. Just notice your breathing. Noticing as you're not forcing anything, but where is the movement as you breathe in? Your body's just started to relax. So where instinctively does that breath travel to? And if it travels into the belly, just allow it to keep breathing deep into the belly. If you notice more movement in the chest, try to make the breath feel like it's deeper, traveling deeper inside the body, moving down past the lungs, down deep into the belly. And taking one deep breath in. Filling as deep as you can into the belly and let the breath go. And as the breathing just resets itself again, where do you feel that you've grounded deeper into the floor with? keeping that sense of connection. And that support that it offers you. So that as we go through this session, we're going to keep the tempo moving through it. You always have options to slow it down in child's pose if you need to. But trying to keep control of the breathing, keep it even, keep it smooth, and keep connections to the floor where you can. And very slowly, we're going to start to open the eyelids up. And then starting to slide one leg in and then the other. And draw the knees in for a hug. And let that little roll of the spine side to side. And we're going to set the legs up into tabletop with the knees and feet hip distance apart. So we're going to just waken up the stomach muscles again. So that sense of keeping the pelvis flat, the ribs on the floor. We're going to take that single leg stretch. So you can choose how far away the leg extends and how low to the floor that it extends. Again, keeping as many parts connected to the floor as you can. And feeling that lengthening, almost like you're doing that same lengthened good evening stretch. And as we continue to move through there, we're going to transition it into scissors, keeping the knees at a right angle, move the thigh away and then pull it back in. And again, away and back in. So keeping that sense of control, using the out breath maybe to go out and the in breath to come back in. Keeping the pelvis and the ribs again grounded on the floor. Then we're going to take it from there with the legs back into tabletop again. Slowly bringing the upper body up. And as you bring it up, pulling in nice and strong with the tummy and then back down, taking for 5. Again, lifting up and back down. Feeling that pull in through the rib cage. That little nod of the chin. And as you rise up, using that out breath can help. So this time as we rise up, lengthen the right leg. You're taking away that single leg stretch and then back in and down. Right leg, curl it up, lengthen away, back in and down. And again, curl it up and lengthen. In breath and down. Curl it up and lengthen. In breath and down. Taking one more. Again, curl it up, lengthen. In breath and down. Curl it up and lengthen. In breath and down. Draw the knees in for a hug. Again, a little rock side to side just to release the lower back. So this time we're going to support the head. So bring the hands in behind. Imagine you're just sneaking the base of the skull away from the shoulders to help nod the chin up. So you're lifting up into that curl up. So we're going to take both legs away this time. So it's lengthening again and drawing back in, pulling them right in. And as you take the legs away, make sure again the spine isn't rolling into an arch. So trying to take both legs away at the same time if you can. Keeping that little nod on the chin. So as you lengthen, feeling that stretch through the thighs, reaching out of the hip sockets. And then draw it in, again a little nudge, drawing them in close. Okay. So we're going to take it into a little roll. Okay, so you can center the pelvis, take the hands in behind the knees. So the legs still up into roughly about tabletop. Lift the upper body. So you're just going to lift the tail, lift the shoulders, lift the tail, lift the shoulders. And it's a really tiny little rock. Really tiny. So you're only rocking from about the rim of the pelvis to about the lower shoulder blades. Because we're building up to the big rock to bring you up into seated. Taking one more and then roll it up all the way up. Once we get there, we're going to turn it over and bring you onto hands and knees. So we're going to send it into your cat. So find that lengthen through your spine and then that slow curl under. Out breath to rise the ribs to the ceiling. In breath to sink the ribs to the floor. Draw the shoulders connected behind. Out breath, rise it up. In breath to arch. Taking 2 more. Taking your time, just following the natural timing of your own breath. And then slowly finding length into center. Draw the toes under. Imagine you're externally rotating those upper arms and hugging them into the sockets. And once you get them there, you're going to hover the knees. We're going to stay there for 5 breaths. The knees are only hovering about 1 centimetre off the floor. Imagine that zip up from the pubic bone up through the front of the spine, all the way up through the top of the head to lengthen. But those arms are still pulling back into the sockets. And as you're holding for those 5 breaths, keeping long. And then as you finish the 5 and the knees are down again, try to imagine what is tensioned up, what can you release from that point but still hold that position. We're going to send the right leg in behind as we lengthen and lift, reaching through the heel and then back in and under. And again, lengthen and lift. So you're starting to bring your glutes into a little bit more. So the tummy is still tight, reaching through that heel, knee and toes pointing to the floor. Reach and lift and lengthen and back under. So we're going to take through 5 on each side. Try not to let the body wiggle from side to side through this. Keep the armpits pulling down the sides. Getting those glutes switched on. Now once we've finished those 5 each side, we're going to send it up into down dog, but keep the legs bent. As you open up through the shoulders, I want you to think about plugging the shoulders into the sockets. Starting just to take that little pedaling movement out, lowering through the heels to bring that stretch in. And then slowly finding length through both. And we're going to start to rise it up through the heels. Start to lift the tailbone, that rolling action of the spine. And as you come forward, if you need to adjust the hands to set them underneath the shoulders, let that happen. And then we're going to walk the feet in, bringing it up hip distance apart with the feet. Let the body hang over, hips are high, upper body's relaxed, and let the head shake or nod to let go of the tension. Maybe a little sway of the hips side to side, the weight on the heels. And then centering. We're going to roll the spine up, so press the heels into the floor. Imagine you're lifting through the chest, but you're lengthening down through the tailbone, reaching the arms up, deep in breath, and then out breath into prayer on the chest. So we're going to bring like a sense of stability, both hip bones pointing straight ahead. We're going to keep the legs fixed. In breath, as you breathe out, rotate the ribs to the right. And in breath, back into center. And the out breath, rotate the ribs to the left. In breath, back to center. We're going to take one more. Out breath, twist. In breath to center. And again, out breath, twist. In breath, back to center. So we're going to send it then into your chair position. So as you sink those hips, lengthen through the tail, that zip up on the front of the body, hands still on the chest, and open up through the shoulders. So you feel like you're having to keep the back of the shoulder blades connected. In breath, and as you breathe out, rotate to the right. So the hips and the knees, everything staying still. In breath, back to center. Out breath to twist. In breath to center. And again, as you do one more, I want you to notice when you twist, is one knee further in front of the other, or are you able to keep them even? And again, the out breath takes you to the other side. Check the knees. Are they uneven? In breath, back to center. Take the hands to the knees, send the hips back. Get that little stretch coming in through the legs. Slide it down. As much of a knee bend as you need to take. In breath, halfway. Again, long through the spine. And the out breath, fold. We're going to step back, taking it fully back into your plank position. But then you can modify taking the knees down, roll those shoulders down the side seams, lowering to the floor, roll the shoulders behind, lengthen the legs, in breath to lift the chest, and the out breath to lower. We're going to take 2 more. Again, as you roll the shoulders back, lift and lengthen, and then slowly lower. 1 more. And then slowly pressing it back, take the child's pose to fold and lengthen. We're going to pause for 3 breaths. find that length through the side body. Reaching long, maybe even creeping the thumbs together. And as you take those breaths in, open up into the side ribs. And then reset the hands, hip distance apart, take an in-breath. As you breathe out, curl the tailbone under, rolling the spine, coming forward into box. Draw the toes under, send the shoulder blades down the side seams, pressing into your down dog. So find your way into your preference for down dog. So whether your knees are slightly bent to make the back long, whether you're able to get them a little bit straighter, but always have just that tiniest softness in the knees. Lengthen the heels wherever they can get to. Take a deep in breath. And as you breathe out, one or lots of little steps, how many you need to get yourself to the front of your mat. In breath to halfway. The out breath to fold. We're going to roll the spine up, press the heels into the floor. You're lifting the hips, you're lifting the rib cage. Sending the shoulder blades down the back, lifting the arms up. Big deep in breath. And out breath, fold back down. So again, blending that in. So slowly, take an in breath, reach it tall. And the out breath, send it into chair. So again, in breath to prepare, out breath to twist to the right, keep those knees level. In breath to center, out breath to twist. And out breath to center. We're going to start to bring you back up again, reach it tall, in breath. We're going to step it back with the right leg into warrior two from here, okay? So once we come through, I want you to have those toes pointed out to the side, bending through that front knee to find that width that you need to be, where you know knee is above the ankle, and those back toes, you're pressing the weight into that back foot. Long through the arms, looking over that front finger. So can you sink the hips into this? Almost pulling that front hip back into the socket, keeping connected and through the front. So we're just going to bring in that leg movement first of all. So in breath, press the leg back. Out breath to deepen. In breath to press it back. And out breath to deepen. One more. In breath to press it back. Out breath to deepen. So press it back. As we reach it back, we're going to use the upper body. So stretching through the upper body, reaching forward over that front foot, and then drawing back in. And again, we're reaching long. And back in. And reach. And return back in. So back into warrior two. We're going to bring that back hand all the way through, pivoting to runner's lunge. And as we get there, the right hand planted. If it's the left foot forward, take that left hand up into your twist, sinking those hips, lengthening through that heel at the back to find that length in your twist. Keeping the shoulder blades pulling back into the sockets. And as you bring the hand to the floor, step it back either full plank position, or again you can grind the knees, shoulder blades pulling back, slowly lowering to the floor. Roll the shoulders behind, lengthen the legs, actively lifting on the in breath. Out breath, fold it into child's pose. In breath. As you breathe out, rise it up into box. We're going to take a thread the needle. So right hand reaching through. Taking that deep breath again to open up through the side ribs. Lengthening through the tail, squaring off the hips. In breath. And as you breathe out, centering. Taking it over to the other side. So just bringing in again that little bit more rotation just to stretch it through. Again, notice whether those hips are twisting. Can you square them off? Big deep breath. And then slowly, on the out breath, returning back into center. Continuing back into down dog. Draw those toes under, find your down dog. Open the shoulders, plug them into the sockets. Soft knee bend as needed. Length through the back. Slowly from there, start to lift the heels, roll the spine forward. Again, adjust the hands if you need to. Find that full plank, and then as many steps as you need to walk the feet in. I'm going to roll the spine back up again. Press the feet into the floor to rise at the front of the body, to drop those shoulder blades down. In breath, lift it up. And the out breath to the chest. And again, we're going to tend it up in breath, reach it tall. The out breath as you bring the hands to the chest, sink it into chair. We're going to go to the left this time. In breath to prepare, out breath, rotate the ribs to the left. And then in breath to center. Out breath, twist to the right. In breath to the center. So we're going to reach it up tall, stretch and reach. And at this point, if you need to change your position on your mat, if you're going to be stepping back the other way, I'm going to adapt. We're going to step it back into warrior two. So opening it wide. So taking that left leg behind if you're following me on the sides. So we're reaching along through the arms again, deepening into that knee bend, knee above the ankle, not over it. Lengthening in through that outside edge of the back foot. And again, that sense of lifting up inside. So the more you lengthen the legs, the more you pick up, the more you should feel the muscles working. Eyes looking forwards. And we're going to start to bring it into that leg movement. In breath, pressing with the leg to draw the hip back. Out breath to deepen. In breath to press. And out breath to deepen. In breath and press. Out breath to deepen. So again, we're going to press the leg back and we're going to bring in the upper body. So again, you can use that in breath to lengthen and then the out breath to draw back in. In breath to lengthen, out breath to draw back in. Last one. In breath to lengthen and out breath to draw back in. We're going to deepen into warrior two. Bring that back hand through, pivot down into your runner's lunge. And when we get there, again, that left hand connected to the floor, right hand reaching up, sinking into that twist, left heel reaching behind. Holding it strong, shoulders down the back. Again, we're going to bring the hand to the floor, step it behind. Again, option for full plank or modified to the knees. Creeping forward on the toes as you lower to the floor if you can. Roll the shoulders behind. You can choose your position in your cobra. So do you need to be on elbows? Do you need to be on hands? Pushing and pulling to draw the chest through. And then slowly press it back again into child's pose. Brief pause. Maybe bringing those thumbs in together again. Taking your breath to open up into the side ribs, the armpit area. And then separating the hands by hip distance apart. In breath, rounding the spine, coming forwards. Take it into your down dog, sending those hips back. Plug the shoulders into the sockets. And again, ready to walk those feet forward this time, or jump. You can choose. If you want to jump, look at the hands, bend the knees, little pop, bringing it forwards. And then allow the body to hang over. A little sway through the hips. And then letting them center. Press the heels into the floor. Again, active with the core pulling up on the inside to lengthen the posture from the front of the body. Getting that lift through the back extensors and then hands return to prayer. So we're going to make that into a little bit more of a flow. We're going to be coming through your Sun Salutation B. So every time we're coming up through our warrior one, we're going to shift straight into warrior two. Okay, and we're going to bring our triangle in. So slowly from there, in breath, reach it tall, and the out breath into chair. So we're going to pause for a moment, finding lengthen through your spine, drawing in, zipping in through the core. Bring the hands into prayer. In breath, twisting to the right, out breath to twist. In breath to center, out breath to twist. In breath to center. Then slowly folding, hands to the floor. I'm going to step it all the way back. Take your chaturanga as choice, otherwise take it to child's pose. You can choose whichever version coming through. And as you take it back into down dog, or if you're in child's pose rises to box. You can lift the right leg out behind as an option, no matter which variation you're in. And then slowly starting to bend that leg through, reaching through between the hands, strong drive up, planting the back foot, but turn straight through into warrior two. So as you come up, let the foot pivot out to the side. You're deeping in through that front knee. You're going to press through the leg, reach through the body. We're going to take it straight into triangle. So take the hand to the shin. We're reaching up, so your gaze can either be on the floor, to the side, or up to the hand above. Still pulling that front hip back, pressing into that outside edge of the back foot. Long body position. Every breath, can you reach the body longer out of those hips? Slowly, we're going to start to transition, bending through that front leg. In breath, rise the posture up tall. Keep the leg straight, but drift into reverse warrior. So take the back hand to the thigh, front hand lifting up, and the ribs and shoulders are turning. We're going to take it back through warrior two. Switching over, runner's lunge, take your twist from the floor, reach it tall, sink those hips. Bringing the hand back to the floor, stepping in behind, chaturanga or child's pose, you choose. Maybe you want to add in up dog, you can choose again. Sending it back into child's pose again or down dog. We're going to take it into your second side. So if you're in child's pose, rise up into box. Then we're taking left leg out, lifting it high if you can. We're going to step that through in between. Again, strong drive up as you reach it up. Take it through straight into your warrior two. So back toes turned out. And as you're reaching nice and long, keeping the hips hugged in as you bend into position. In breath, send the hip back, reach it through. And take the hand to the shin, reach it up. And as you reach it up, keep the hips hugged in, keep the spine lengthening on each in-breath. And where's your gaze? Where does it need to be to help your balance? Ready for an in-breath. Pressing in through that front leg, keep that front leg straight, taking the back hand to the back thigh. Front hand reaching up, let the ribs and the shoulders turn to face the side edge of your mat. Reaching long, feeling that stretch of the side body. Bringing it into warrior two, bend that front leg, reaching long through the legs. Circle the arm over. And again, take it into the twist. So right hand's connected to the floor. Sink those hips, lengthen through that back heel. Pausing to slow the breath down. Reconnect the hand to the floor. Again, chaturanga option. Whichever you choose. And finding your way into down dog or child's pose again. And then everyone meeting in child's pose. Let the knees soften. Reaching forward. Again, if you want to take that extra little stretch around the side body, keep the hands maybe one on top of the other this time if you want to go a little bit narrower. And then slowly from there, bringing the hands again back to shoulder width, take an in-breath. And as you breathe out, slowly rising forward into your box. So once we're there, we're going to take just a few cat-cows, just a little release for the back. So lengthening, rounding. And then once you find your way back into middle, draw the toes under, send it into down dog. Again, if you want to walk it forward, you can. If you want to take that little jump, that little hop, you can do. Let the body hang over, hips are high, let the head hang loose. We're going to roll the spine up again. Pressing the heels into the floor, lifting through the front line of the body. Reaching those shoulder blades down the back, that full deep breath in. And then bringing the hands back into prayer position. Okay. So, in terms of the next flow, so we're still going to work with that same motion, but we're going to take it through here from standing. So we're going to blend it. We're not going to take it down through your chaturangas, we're just going to link one side to the other. Okay. So feet still prepared about hip distance apart if you want that little bit of extra balance. In terms of the challenge for position, if you want to have the feet closer together, it's a bit more of a balance challenge. So whenever we step into warrior two, the feet will be more in line with each other rather than that train track width apart. So you can choose if you want the balance challenge of the feet closer together. So hands in prayer position, again lengthening that Shavasana, tailbone down, lifting through the pubic bone, dropping the shoulder blades down the back. In breath, reach it tall. And then out breath, back into prayer position, sinking the hips down. So this time as we take that twist, you can bring the straight arm across the knee, if that helps you to revolve the ribs a little bit more. If you know that you can get those elbows connected, left elbow to the right knee, then you can bring in that twist, but keep a check. Are those legs separating and twisting, or are you keeping the knees level as you press the hands in together to lengthen the spine to increase the twist? In breath, rise it back up into chair. And taking that twist to the other side. So again, whether it's reaching across with a straight arm to press the twist, or can you connect the elbows? Pushing the hands one into each other to lengthen the spine. Notice, are those knees pulling back in together? And then coming back into chair. Once we're there, we're going to step it through. We're going to take the left leg in behind. So reach it up tall. Reach it open into your warrior two. So balance heels in line with the inside edge of the back foot, or you can have them a little bit wider. So we're going to take it in breath, send the leg behind. Out breath, reach it forward. Find your triangle. Pausing a few breaths. So as we're open through that position, can you lengthen your spine any further? The more you lengthen, the more I want you to keep your hips hugged in. So they might want to sink backwards. Can you hug them in a little bit deeper underneath you? Slowly rising it up, reverse the warrior. Keep the legs straight, back hand to the back thigh, lifting up, reaching tall, really stretching through that front side. And then returning warrior two. Deepen and lengthen through the legs, bring that back hand through, rotate it round. Taking that twist, reaching up to the right. Can you send that lunge any deeper? Shoulder blades pulling down the body. As you connect the hand to the floor, bring the leg in behind, down dog. Walking your hands back, bringing your weight onto your feet. Slowly starting to uncurl the spine as you grind, reaching it up, full stretch. Bringing the hands down into prayer, right turn. We're going to bring it on to the right side. So again, this time, in breath to reach, out breath into prayer and into chair. We're going to take the twist to the left this time first. So out breath, take that twist, connecting the elbows if you can. Otherwise, using that straight arm to press. Lengthen through the spine as you press the hands together. Finding the breath, slow it down. Return it to center, back into chair. And again, rotation, connection. Are the knees twisted? Can you square it off? And recenter, back into chair. As we rise it up, step the right leg in behind, coming into your warrior two. Find that length that you need on the legs, active through them. And then slowly from there, in breath, lengthen through that front leg. Reach the body forward on the out breath. Find your triangle, wherever it is, shin, ankle, wherever you need to go. Opening up, find your gaze to help you balance. And again, are those hips pulled in underneath you? Squeeze those hips in underneath you. And then slowly, we're reversing it. So pressing in through that front leg, rise the posture up. Back hand to the back thigh, reaching up, let the ribs and shoulders turn to get that side stretch. Reaching long. And then reaching it over, back into your warrior two. Again, active lengthening as you find your way through. Circle that back hand through and into your lunge. Reaching up, left hand, send those hips down. Reaching that right heel behind. Shoulder pulling down into the socket again. Reconnecting with your breath. Find the length in the breath. And then connecting the hand to the floor. Stepping the leg in behind. Take it into your down dog again. And start to walk the hands back, pushing through the floor. Find the weight onto the feet, softening through the knees. Let the body hang over, give the head a shake or nod. Slowing the breathing down. And we're going to bring you down to the floor. So walking the hands forward, bringing the knees down, and we're going to bring you into seated. So we're going to start to stretch out the legs. Hopefully we're working quite a lot there. So we're going to start to bring it in just a few stretches in for around the hip area. So if we start with the left leg out straight, and we're going to draw the right toes in towards the right or the left knee. Spine sitting nice and tall. So whether you want to use the hands to help you sit up tall, to help draw that knee to the floor, or whether you want to take it forwards to take a hold of the leg or the foot, maybe a little extra pressure on the knee if that helps to encourage you down. So finding length through the shoulders. And again now trying to think of those grounding connections to the floor. That long and straight leg fully connected, trying to find as much of a connection with your sit bones to the floor, drawing the shoulder blades down your back. Slowing everything down. And maybe you're able to delve a little bit deeper as you settle into that position. And then slowly walking the hands back. So we're going to adjust that front leg. So we're going to bring it in and around behind. So depending on flexibility will be whether the knee is a little bit further forward or whether you need to take it knee in line with the hip, whatever you're able to do without being all skew with. So you're trying to keep the body long, trying to rotate the ribs and the shoulders to face that long leg. And again, a long spine as you fold it forwards. Trying to keep the length, shoulders pulling down the back. Again, softening where you can, just noticing again that front leg, if it's bending, can you make more of a connection through that leg with the floor? Delving deeper in some way. And then slowly starting to walk it back up. So we're going to bring that leg through, and as we do, just give the legs just a little roll out and in. Where you want to use the hands to give them a little bit of a jostle. Okay, we're going to change it over. So right leg out straight in front, left toes to the right knee. Spine nice and tall. And again, whether it's a press from in behind or whether it's reaching forward, whether using that elbow towards the other knee, whatever you feel you need to bring the stretch to where it feels good to go. So again, noticing those points of connection to ground to the floor. And finding a way to delve a little deeper. And then slowly, as you're ready, walking the hands back up and then adjusting that bent leg so you're taking it out to the side. Again, whether the knee's a little bit in front of the hip line or whether it's trying to get further back so that the knee and the hip are in line, that right angle between the front leg and the side leg. Hips and shoulders trying to turn to face forwards, lengthening through the spine. Drawing the shoulder blades down your back. Whether you're able to keep those toes pulling back. Again, continuing to soften your breath. And then slowly from there, again starting to walk those hands back. We're going to bring our legs through in front again, just give them a little rock if they need it. It's good to do anyway if you feel they don't. Okay, so we're going to bring you with the heels in line with the sit bones and then slowly roll the spine down. So we're going to take it into, first of all, shoulder bridge, so not focusing on a back bend as such. I want you just to keep lengthening through the spine. So slowly rolling the spine up, getting those glutes working and lengthening through the knees. And then again, that slow roll back down. We'll take one more like that. So again, that slow roll, lifting and lengthening. And then slowly rolling back down. So we're going to take it into just a little bit of like a baby back bend at the top if you can, as a choice. So whether you're using your hands as a platform to come in underneath the pelvis, or whether you want to clasp the hands as you get up there. But it's that slow roll of the spine, taking it up when you get up there. So whether you need to sneak the hands in together to press, to rise it up, or whether you want to use your hands underneath the bone of the pelvis as a shelf. And I want you to find length through your neck. Keep that length through the legs, finding where you need to be. And then slowly releasing the arms out and then rolling the spine back down. Taking a knee hug, drawing them in, releasing the lower back. So you have a choice here. We're going to take the leg across the body just to continue with that, the idea of the twists. But if you want to take this a little bit stronger, then you can use the straight leg version. So if you want to use a strap around the foot, you can do on this, or you can still just use a hand support, but you can choose whichever version. So hug the knee in first and then draw it in. So whether it's mostly straight or a slight little bend. We're going to take the leg across the body. So if you want to go bent leg, you can take a bent leg across. If you want to take it straight leg, again, you can support it across. Right arm out to the side as you bring that right leg over until you feel that pull in through the hip, maybe into the low back. Keep lengthening the grounded leg so it's active on the way through. Keep reaching through the heel on the leg that you're leading with. If it's a bent leg, you're reaching through the knee. So you're actively pulling deeper into the stretch. Using your breaths to open and expand the ribs. And each out breath, can you almost try to turn your ribs to the right? Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, drawing that leg back in. Now as you draw it in, take it in for a hug. And then we're going to take it open to the outside of the body. So you can keep it bent, or if you want to challenge it again to that straight leg, you can take it out to the side. So as you take it open, whichever version, maybe using the left hand to the left hip to keep it fixed. So that as you take it to the side, again, whether it's a strap around the foot, whatever you're using, there's tension in this. You're lengthening either through the knee or through the straight leg. The grounded leg trying to be as long and straight as it can, so it helps to ground and stabilize the pelvis. Again, finding a way to control the breath and to ground the body, to keep the ribs on the floor. Take a deep in breath As you breathe out, bending through the leg and then drawing it back into center. Again, a little hug and then pop it onto the floor. So we're going to switch the legs over. So again, as you readjust to wherever you need to be, you're hugging that left leg in. And then decide, do you want to go with the leg straighter, maybe a strap around the ball of the foot, or do you want to keep it bent? So you're going to take it across, left arm out to the side, right leg coming across. So whether it's bent or whether the leg is straight, reaching across the body. The grounded leg lengthening and reaching through either the knee or the heel on that leg. Softening the breath in. Figure out what else can you relax. The legs are active, the core is helping to stabilize, and the ribs, even on out breath, maybe trying to get those ribs turning a little bit more to the left. Take a deep in breath. And as you breathe out, softening the leg, bringing it back into center, a little hug in. So again, you can decide which version, whether you want to work with the leg in a bent leg position as you take it open and away from the body, or if you want to go with that longer leg to take it out to the side. So whatever room that you have. And once you take it out there, again, the right hand can be on the right hip, helping to ground that hip, lengthening through that right leg. And as you take that free leg across, reaching through that heel as well. That sense of the ribs trying to keep grounded on the floor. And settling the breathing. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, again, softening the knee and then drawing it back in across, a little hug in, and then grounding through the feet. So slowly, if you feel that you would like to take the option for a shoulder stand, you can. We're going to blend that into plie as another option if you wish to take it. If you want to take a softer version, maybe with a pillow or a block underneath the pelvis and just with the legs lifted, and you can let them float there. Or if you have a wall handy, you could rest the tailbone against the wall and have the legs up the wall. But if you're able to take it into shoulder stand, you're trying to lift the hips to the ceiling, you're trying to sneak the elbows in narrow and lengthening the feet up, making yourself a bit like a pencil. So reaching the feet to the ceiling, trying to squeeze those hips in. And when you do this, so making sure you don't turn your head to look at the screen, so just trying to listen to any points that I say rather than turning the head. But if you feel like from there that you want to take it into the plie, you'll lower your feet towards the floor. They may not get the whole way there, but you still want to keep the hips lifted. So if you're able to take them over to bring that stretch in through the back of the legs, you can. Try to still keep the head centered. And then slowly, you can soften the knees, bring the hands to the floor, and then roll the spine slowly down. As you bring the feet down to the floor, take a full body stretch. If you've been up on a block, you can remove the block, take that stretch away. And then slowly floating the arms down. We're going to take you into your Shavasana. So I want you to set it up wherever it feels good to go. So whether with supports underneath the knees, whether a pillow under the head, whether a blanket over you, whatever you need. And come back to this idea of being as closely connected to the floor underneath you as you can. Find the support from the floor to let the body relax, to deepen into the floor. allow your eyes to close if they haven't already. Try to allow the body to soften with every out breath. What tension can you release and let go of? Can you use that natural rhythm of your breath without even having to take a deep breath to figure out that every out breath, no matter how soft it is, I can release and let go a little deeper. Just letting your breath follow its own natural rhythm. And again, just noticing as you breathe the movement and where it happens. Feeling that movement in the belly and hopefully the chest fairly quiet. Knowing that you have made your body move in some different ways. You've challenged the muscles to deepen positions and to lengthen. That movement can bring more nourishing breath and energy into the body. It can also get rid of cobwebs, so it's good to move. And it's knowing that you should feel good, you've given your body that time. When everything can be so crazy and so busy at the moment. And just allowing that time for your body to feel supported and to let go of tensions, unnecessary tensions. So that it gives you that change of mindset, that change of feeling. It's allowing that feeling to be proud of yourself with those movements. It's almost kind of beam through every cell in your body and to feel good. And then slowly starting to bring a little movement into your toes and into your fingers. In your own time, starting to bend your legs in. And if you feel like you want to bring them in for a hug, let that happen. Or if you want to just bring yourself onto your side. In your own time, whenever you find yourself on your side, so you can just slowly start to open your eyes. Using that top hand, gently pressing into the floor, lengthening that top leg out, and bring yourself up into a comfortable seat. Bringing your hands onto your heart center, and again knowing that you have worked hard, and hopefully that has made you feel good about that. So nice deep in breath, folding forward, namaste.